I made it. So I'm just gonna talk out loud while I'm going through a moment where I can't sleep, which is very typical, and try and recap everything that's happened. Where I'm at now, how I got here, and what's to come. So just to recap, 7 months ago, the end of December, I knew something was very wrong. I had lost 30 pounds in 6 weeks. I couldn't eat. And I could feel it growing in me. I could feel something growing in me, and what could grow? What could spread like that? So I was convinced it was cancer. And I saw an MRI, and there was a cloud. There was a cloud of inflammation the size of a grapefruit in my belly, and there were multiple fluid-like like the size of eggs around my body. It didn't match up with any organs I knew about. It's difficult for me to see. Tatted eye. I'm not expecting any viewers. I'm trying to just document the success of the surgery. And it's real success. I mean, I am so excited. I'm so excited that it's rare, it's documented, but I went through 3 shifts of nurses and not one of them had seen what they were seeing. And I remember waking up from surgery. My liver's processed very, very slow. So I woke up not immediately after surgery. I woke up at midnight. I had the surgery from May. It was an extensive, long surgery. At midnight, and I was so excited. I woke up because I didn't feel what I was expecting to feel. I was expecting to feel pain even with the anesthesia, but I could feel my legs and I could twitch my muscles, and I was like, well, that's weird because the last time I had surgery I couldn't twitch my muscles. Hi Adrienne, Lucas. So I'm twitching my muscles and I was like, this is weird. I can feel my muscles. Why am I not being bitten in the ass? For the last 10 years, I pain in my ass. Literally, if I'm lying on my ass, I could feel my muscle being bit into by the knife edge of my hip placement that was like, I could feel my ribs eating into my muscle. And this was a pain that I experienced over 10 years. Eventually, I was medically gaslit and told that my placement went perfectly, it fit beautifully, And there was a little thing, you're going to feel a bit of discomfort because you didn't have enough bone, so we used the smallest cut we could, and it out a little bit. There's a bit of overhang. I didn't know what that meant. I was like, okay. But I was glad to have the hip done, and I believed the surgeon. But it hurt every day for the last 10 years. And eventually that easement injury that hurt over and over, your body can't heal from it. And it metastasized and it spread through my body. And I became very sick to the point where the gist was like, this is coming out of your hip, a hunch. And you've got to get that thing taken out. And I was like, thank God, someone's heard me. Someone's heard me. Because every test I have, they're denying it. And then he diagnosed me with something very, very rare, which doesn't show MRIs. You can't read it on MRIs. Hi, Molly. Thank you. Yes, I'm really sweet. Just for information, I'm going to show you what the surgical wound looks like, and you're not going to believe it, okay? Trying to stay on track. I'm trying to tell the story. It's 2 a.m. here, and it's very typical for me to wake up at this time sweating. It's like I get really sticky, I have a rash, and that's normal. It's expected. I'm not in any pain. What the hell? So I woke up in the hospital room and there's people screaming. And they're in different rooms and I hear them screaming and wailing. And I'm in a hospital. I'm thinking, I made it. Am I dead? Because I'm not wailing. There's nothing to cry. I'm not in any pain. And I can twitch my legs. Oh shit. I think the surgeon cancelled. And I've just woken up from the anesthesia and he must have cancelled. And maybe I'm not feeling pain because the anesthesia hasn't worn off. But I can twitch my legs. Hi, Leia. God bless you. I hope you live an amazing life. I'm coming back from this because too many people have said it now. Too many people have said it. They have never seen a surgical wound that looks like this after a major surgery. They've heard about it. It's been documented. It's rare. It's extremely rare. But they've never seen it. And so I got used to ringing the alarm bell and calling the nurses every hour because I needed to pee so bad. I was in the surgery, I think about 3 hours, something like that, and I must have taken at least 3 litres of IV because I peed 3 litres in 3 hours. Like every hour I peed a litre, and I was so bruised from needing to pee because my bladder was like so stretched out. On the 3rd time I called, the nurses didn't come and they were dealing with other people screaming in the ward. And I was like, oh God, I can't wait. I need to pee now. So I picked myself up out of bed. I stood up and I was getting ready to pee in a cup. And the nurse came flying into the room. You should have called. Stop. Get down. Stop what you're doing. And I was like, oh, sorry. I said, I did call for help. But yeah, oh, we're sorry. Oh, you did call for help. the alarm was going off on the bed, because they have a weight sensor. If you fall out of bed, there's a weight sensor, you know. I was standing on the edge of the bed. I tipped myself out of bed, and I was standing and like trying to get to my hoo-ha, my labubu, and I'm trying to like, you know, just get this out. I got my rein on. They put the belt on me, and they're telling me to slow down. They're like, slow down, lady, slow down. Krabby Patty, 2 nuns are out cycling. One says, I've never come out this way before. Second nun must be the cobblestones. Anyway, I'm practically running to the bathroom, and the nurses are trying to hold me back with my reins on. And when I get back in bed, So while the stream is not doing so well, while it's kind of dropping, I'll just show you the surgical site, because this isn't normal, okay? I've just got a lightweight jacket over me because I get too hot, and then I wasn't strong enough to throw a blanket off me because I got very weak. So I've been in and out of it since I came round, and the last 2 days I've been getting I can lay up for like a couple hours at a time, and I'm able to walk around. I've had home help come. So this is what I'm going to show you. Right, look at this. There's no bruising. No, that's just a marker. That's where they marked me. There's no bruising. And look at this. Look at this. I can move, and I'm not in any pain. I have no pain, guys. This is not normal. This is rare, extremely rare. Right, look at this. No swelling. What the hell? No swelling. So the skin is not taut, it's not ballooned out, there's no swelling, there's no bruising, there's no mottling. So, I mean, I was hearing it consistently with every nurse that came out. She says, oh, you're young. And I'm like, I'm middle-aged. I'm gonna be 48 next month. I'm 48 next month. You don't look 48. Okay, you must be young. I'm really rough. This is a rough journey. I'm not dismissing it. It's rough, right? But I'm gonna pull this cable out so that I can. I'm gonna put you down over here. So there we go. So I'm sorry I'm being really slow. I woke up, I'm trying to tell this story, and I'm still in this almost. That I'm not in any pain, and I can move, and I can walk, and I've had home help come. I've had physical therapy come to my home. I've had physical therapy come to my home, and she kept shaking her head and looking at me. And she put the waistband on me to help me move. And I'm so excited to see her. She's telling me to slow down, right? And I said, I'm just excited, so happy. And she's running through these exercises with me, and she keeps pausing and saying, slow down. And at the end of the session, I said to her, so, how do you think I do? Ni hao ma. Hi, Blue Vortex. How? I'm doing so well. Like, I'm just in bliss right now. I am so happy, but I haven't done a live stream for a while because I've been Charlie. Okay, so Charlie is crashing tonight, and he's been crashing most nights the last 2 weeks, right? But every time he goes to the bathroom, like, he's loud. I'm gonna just take the piss out of his foghorning later, right? But the thing is, even if I him, like, it's because we're ill with the same disease that he's foghorning the toilet. And before surgery, I was battling him out, man. Like, I'm like, hey Charlie, I'm louder than you. This disease is disgusting, it's dehumanizing. And I got to the point where I had anal fissures that were hurting, so I would try and silent fart. I'd pull my butt cheeks apart and just hope the wind would come out without, ripping through because of the pain. So I've lost so much weight that my eyelids are being sucked in, and I've got this double lid right now, which is weird because Asians are having surgery to get this done. All they have to do is get really sick, man. Anyway, save your wishes for Charlie. He's still going through it. I'm on the other side of surgery now, and hi Grey Wolf. I'm on the other side of surgery now, and I am starting the healing journey officially. And he's got all this to come. He's got all this to come, and I'm trying to talk quietly because, yeah, everyone's supposed to be asleep. But anyway, if you want to call this a miracle, and if you're a believer in your faith or whatever, then I go ahead and let you. It is, right? But at the same time, I earned this. I put in so much work that I earned this. So I'm going to show you again the surgical site. And there's no mottling, there's no bruising. It looks like someone just stuck a sticker to my leg, just sticker to my leg. It just looks like that, right? And anyway, that's what the physical therapy nurse, home help came. And she said, honestly, she said, you're ahead of the curve. You are very different. Perhaps it's because you're young, but I've never seen this. And she said, I see a lot of hip revisions, and they are swollen and bruised, sometimes down to the knee, and there's a lot of blood that's clotting under there, and it's tight and it's difficult to move. And of course, I said, well, I do a lot of work. I did prehabilitate this. I did a lot of work. I had 6 where I sat in the jacuzzi most days, did my workout in the jacuzzi, and then I got stronger and stronger, and I kept building strength. I was greedy for strength, and I played every day like a child. I was jumping in the pool, I was laughing, I was enjoying life, because I thought, if this is it, I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna play until the end. If I don't make it, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna enjoy what's left of life. And then some weird things started happening. The tumours started to regress. They started to dissolve, and they started to peel away from my organs. And that was a weird sensation. And then I knew I was doing something right, because no one was helping me. This disease is so rare. They couldn't offer chemo. And I have lost weight, and I do look sick, because you can see in my eyelids I've developed a lot of atrophy in the fatty tissue, where like feels like the fatty tissue is being sucked in. My face is thinned out, but the weird thing is the jaw tumor has shrunk. It's gone. It's still painful, actually. So where I get pain is nothing to do with the surgery. Where I get pain, like right now, the only pain I feel is my tumors dissolving, because that hurts. I'm digesting them. One of the nurses from the hospital called me up. Hi, is this Juliana? I was like, yeah. Because I'm excited. I'm just like this all the time. I'm like, is this real? Is this happening? And she says, yeah, confirm your birthday and blah, blah, blah. And I did. And she said, how are you doing today? And I said, great. And she says, okay. I guess they normally hear from patients who are just like, oh my God, it's rough, you know? I was happy, and I was excited to tell her I'm so grateful And she was like, so what's your pain level like? And I said, none. And she said, have you taken any pain meds today? I said, no. She said, are you still icing it? I said, no, it's not swollen. And she said, okay. I mean, I could hear she was confused, but I was like, what's next? What's next? Give me more questions. What's next? And she said, so have you taken any painkillers? And I said, I don't really need to, unless I've been walking around a bit and I've done a bit of a workout and I've been vacuuming the floor. I said this. I've been vacuuming the floor and then my bones feel a bit tired and they ache a bit, so, and then I'll take like a half of the pill. And she went, oh, we don't want you vacuuming the floor after surgery. And then my husband was like, can you tell her to not vacuum the floor? And the nurse was like, yeah, please don't vacuum the floor again. You're not supposed to vacuum the floor. Well, I'm sorry, it wasn't in the restrictions. I was actually rage vacuuming the floor. I stood up, I walked out, a bunny turd got stuck between my toes. I couldn't reach my toes. I was pissed. I'm trying to kick this thing off of my toes and it wouldn't come out. And then I trod in another bunny shit. My husband's on the phone. And I'm like, that's it, I have to clean the place up. So I started pushing the vacuum cleaner, and I knew I was safe because I was holding onto the walker and I'm just, it's like, it was like cleaning up a cereal packet. My bunnies were so angry with me that they shotgunned the place. They destroyed the place, shat everywhere. And I was furious because I have given them so much care and attention. I was grooming them 2 hours a day, and now it's my turn to be elderly and not able to move. And the ingrates, they were like, she's not taking care of us. Why is she going to the bathroom and no, she's not petting us? And they just shit and pissed everywhere, and I was stepping in it and through my walker, and I was bumping into it with my wheels. So I went crazy and started vacuuming. I also got down on the floor and cleaned up the piss. And then after about an hour, my husband's still on the phone, and I yelled at him because I could just hear our friend saying, how's Juliana? Is she doing all right? And I was like, I've just fucking done the vacuuming. And he was like, oh, I'll let you go. And I was like, fucking yeah, I'm fucking exhausted. And now I need to take a painkiller. So they sheepishly got off the phone. My husband apologized to me because, and so the nurse and my husband were ganging up on me and telling me not to do vacuuming, and there's nothing in my medical notes that say I can't vacuum. But she failed the question, what was my husband doing? So there's that. Oh, this is brilliant. And this was 2 days ago. This was like my fourth day after surgery. So I had been away for 4 nights from the bunnies, and they were going mad, and my husband was complaining it was too much for him to look after because he's frail, right? He doesn't take after the bunnies like I do, and I don't complain about it, but it was too much for him. So it was just kind of left out there, and when I walked out there and trod in it, I was just like, this is gross. Not forgetting I have not had a bath in 5 days. So I was with all the hot sweats, because your liver kicks up, your kidneys kick up, and they start to produce new blood. Hematopoiesis it's called, from the bone. And this is a pyrenic, like your liver produces heat, so you get these hot flashes. I can't sleep through that. It's like you've got these mild fevers, but you're sweating. And it makes you sticky. And I was sticking to the sofa. I didn't have a bed sheet on the sofa, and there was poop where I was sleeping because the bunnies had jumped on me and they were so mad at me. They were using me as a toilet and punishing me. So I was just throwing off these tantrums. I was scaring everyone because I'm like, for fuck's sake, stop using me as a toilet. Tell you about that story later, but it's all good. I'm genuinely grateful that I've been through this, and I'm just so happy. So anyway, so you saw me tapping my wound just now, tapping it. I realised why the surgeon had his face this close to my wound. He was like this, and he was tapping it. And I realise now why. Because it wasn't a balloon, I wasn't swollen like a peg, and he was tapping it like this, in disbelief. He was like, wow, you know? He didn't tell me. I was actually scared, because I thought something was wrong. And then, sitting up, and I'm editing these movies on my iPad, which Charlie gave me. He gifted me this iPad because we had playing in the pool prior to my surgery. We were just busting out, like, we were doing stunts, acrobatic stunts in the pool. And my surgeon was furious at me because he saw the video and he said, "You're fucking crazy." He said, "You could dislocate." In other words, I could ruin his work. And he said, "You're not going to be doing that again." He said, "You don't need a hip replacement. I'm going to cancel." So I was terrified that when I woke up after surgery and I didn't feel the pain, I thought maybe the anaesthetic hadn't worn off and he had cancelled. Anyway, that's my meridian massage tool up there. So this is one of the things I was editing, and the surgeon, this is Charlie and I the day before I went into surgery. See if I can focus. Right? Look at my feet, look at my legs. I am balancing on my hands. Let's see if I can just get it to focus on it. I'm balancing on my hands and I'm holding my legs up high. And Charlie's face is like, what the fuck? we were having a blast, you know? We were having fun because I thought, this is a dangerous surgery, I could die. But I won't know if I die, so I'm gonna have fun. I'd already had an MCAS attack early in the week because my body was now very sensitive from the disease. And Charlie was crashing here, and he got to me in time and stuck an EpiPen in me and put my legs up, and he knows what to do, and he knows how rough it feels to be this sick. So he was there but then I blacked out again when I came home. My husband was unaware of how sick I was, how weak I was, and so I gave him a bit of a scare. I blacked out completely. It's all right, it's fine. We know how to prevent it now, and I've grown enough blood now over the last week that I feel myself coming back, you know? Because there's always a bit of blood loss with this type of major surgery. Oh, so I was showing you editing. I was editing my rebirth video because it was all kind of beautiful and I was enjoying it. Still high on anesthetic, and I'm swimming around like a goddess in the water in this Sanfu costume. And the surgeon looks at it. He goes, "Oh, that's what you do. Are you like Instagram famous or something?" And I said, "No." I didn't tell him that I had like 85,000 followers or something, because I'm not proud of that. I don't care about the followers. I'm sorry. I do it for myself. I play. I have a very rich life, and I just want to help people that are going through the same thing and give them some inspiration to enjoy life and continue in the face of some terrible disease. Oh, I'm gonna have some chocolate. I'm gonna have some chocolate and treat myself. So he saw me editing that video and he just looked at my miracle wound. He was very proud of work, and he should be very proud. He did an amazing job. I uploaded the surgical report yesterday and I read it and I understood every word, because I can understand that stuff, right? And I was like, oh, that explains it. So I said to him, yeah, this is the type of stuff I like to do. I like to play underwater. So this video is coming. Oh crap, you can't see anything. If I move it closer. So I got Charlie to film a bunch of underwater video. See that? Ah, you can't really see. I'm just trying to get a bit where you can see something underwater. Hang on. You can't really see it on this. It's too... Anyway, I'm trying to edit it, but I've been so out of it. I've been so out of it that I've not been able to focus on this much. So anyway, it's there. It's there for me to edit. Just gonna... So, I'm incredibly strong. I can do one-armed handstands. I can walk around on my hands. I can put my legs over my face and balance on my hands. That strength
enabled me to haul my ass out of bed. Hi, Lauren. And although my leg feels very, very heavy, I can move it. So I'm like running around with and I have to slow down, but that's fine. I'm just excited. I'm like a child. I'm reborn. I'm so my physical therapist is coming over today to rein me in again, but she's coming to take the bandage off, so I'm gonna see what's underneath. It's gonna be fun. And then I have an appointment to see the surgeon on the 29th for my follow-up. So I have a weird relationship with the surgeon because he's always thought I was a bit crazy. Every time someone who works with him comes in to see me, they're like, yeah, we heard about you. You're the patient that came trundling in on 2 wheels, rolling into his office on a kick scooter, non-electric, balancing on this thing because I can't walk. But instead of using a wheelchair, I'm standing on a kick scooter. And for me, that was important because I was firing my deep stabilizing muscles and keeping alive through the disease so that they wouldn't atrophy and I wouldn't lose them. So I'm trundling around on a 2-wheeled kick scooter where I have to maintain my balance strategically to keep my nerve trunk strong, visible, and prevent those muscles from atrophying. So I got a lot of kickback because everyone treated me like at work, for example, they wouldn't even let me use my scooter as a mobility device. They wanted me in a wheelchair, which is why I ended up on medical leave. Because I had to fight to get my scooter allowed. They were like, if you're disabled, you can't walk, you should use a wheelchair. It was like they were gaslighting me. If you can use that thing, you're not disabled. That was the attitude. But what they don't realize is I've lived with pain for 10 years. And the pain has metastasized into tumors, spreading through my body. And now it's everywhere, and now I was gonna die, right? So the least bit of comfort you can enable me is to trundle around and move the way I want to move. But no, to fight it. So I went on medical leave. Anyway, so I got a lot of kickback from the surgeon's colleagues. But the day after the surgery, I was a little confused because the fellow came into my room and asked to see my wound. The nurse practitioner I had to wait for the lag, sorry. So I had the nurse practitioner, the fellow. Yeah, it's all normal for them to want to come and see you, but they're looking at the wound and then they ask to see the video. And I'm like, the video that he was very upset about, called me fucking crazy over. And they went, yeah, that one. He was talking about it in the OR, and I just got to see it now. Oh. So I pulled out the video and I showed them, and it's on YouTube. Well, you could dislocate doing that, so you shouldn't really be doing that, but you're in the water. You're doing this in the water, and I'm like, well, yeah, I can't walk, but I can play. And I was just going to enjoy life because I didn't know if I was going to survive this, you know? And it was the last time I was going to play. Last time. So I busted my ass. Like, if I'm going to injure it, I'll be in hospital tomorrow, so what the hell? So I did some pretty extreme stuff. I was stunting. Yeah, I was really having a blast. And he saw the video and he was pissed. And he called me fucking crazy. You don't need a hip surgery. You're gonna ruin this work of mine, and I'm not gonna do it. That's what his attitude was. So I was scared. I thought I had to beg him to do it. I had to beg him to do the surgery. So yeah, I pissed the surgeon off. So don't piss off the surgeon. Don't show him an acrobatic video doing the day before surgery, because it's not worth the emotional thing. He doesn't know me really. I had this fear inside me that if I tell the surgeon too much about what I want to do, they'll restrain my mobility by giving me another cup that restrains my range of motion, which is what my last surgeon did. He said, oh, we've corrected your hip dysplasia now. Like, that's a thing to do. Well, I lived with hip dysplasia for 37 years, and it was a stupid accident that caused the hip replacement. I fell out of bed and chunked the top of my femur, and that's what caused my hip replacement, because I destroyed the joint. I destroyed the joint. I destroyed the joint by falling out of bed. I destroyed the joint by falling out of bed. So my strategy after that day forward was to just be greedy with strength, to build a muscle wall around my hip replacement so that it wouldn't fall out the socket, right? You can't build strength if this hip replacement doesn't fit. Like a shoe that doesn't fit, if a shoe doesn't fit, what's it gonna do? It's gonna give you blisters, it's gonna make you bleed. You're not break the shoe in, the shoe's gonna break you in, and eventually all that blood and that stuff turns into cancer. Then it spreads through the body. Because it's trying to heal, and there's more stuff going in, and it becomes a tumor, and then the tumor starts to nucleate elsewhere in the body. So I was right. And my oncologist heard me and validated me and said, this hip replacement has to come out. It's the source of your disease. But it's all over now. I just have to heal. So and the hot flash has passed. I think I'll be able to sleep again, but I am going to get up and go for a pee. So this is a weird thing, right? I can move my legs. I'm going to just get up a second. So this isn't a show of strength or anything. This, like, it's very difficult surgery for people to go through. But I'm strong. I'm extremely strong, and I maintained it. We had this conversation, the surgeon and I, afterwards, because he was looking at the wound and he was amazed at his work. And then he looks over and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I says, "Oh, this is my hobby. I love to do underwater ballet. I'm in the pool all the time playing, and I love to do underwater ballet. And this is my enjoyment. I enjoy editing the movies, of seeing me graceful and moving and flowing and dancing underwater, because in real life I can't walk." And he looked at it and he went, "Oh, like, wow, you must be Instagram famous or something." And I denied it, because my intent was for me, for healing. I have a few thousand followers there, but they're not like fanboys. I have to be careful not to upset the bunnies, because they do a shitstorm. Anyway, I read the surgical report. I asked the surgeon, I said, "So?" He was like, "Oh, the surgery went well. There was a protrusion all around the joint, and there was diseased bone and stuff, and we got it all out. So it's all gone." Buried the hip flush back in, so it's my original hip now. It's the same anatomy as my original hip. We gave you a bigger ball head, and I was bouncing in that bed. I was like bouncing up and down. And I said, I could feel my rims cutting me. And I can't feel them now. I've got no rims. And he said, "Yeah, we buried it flush." I said, "I have questions for you." And he was like, "Oh, go ahead." I said, how are my muscle planes?" And he said they were good. I said, "Was there any tendinopathy?" And he said, "No." I said, "So I healed it?" He didn't want to say anything. And I said, "So," he said that they saw wear and tear on the cup, and I said, "Was there any deformation in the acid liner?" And he said, "No." I said, "See, I look after that shit. I know how to look after my hip joint." And he was like, "Yeah." And I said, "This one's going to be easier to look after, because it's got a bigger ball head. Bigger ball head means less pressure, less impingement pressure, so less chances of deformity, right?" And he's looking at me like, how the F does she know how to talk like this? Well, he doesn't know anything about me. I kept it back from him, because the more they know, the more they freak out, and the more I'm afraid that they compensate for that by, instead of giving me an ergonomic hip, they want to restrain me and put a cup in that will restrain my motion, which is what caused the problem. Because now, instead of not suffering through my hip dysplasia, and I never suffered with it, they're going to give me an acetabular impingement, femoral acetabular impingement, which I will suffer through, right? And I suffered with that for 10 years. Anyway, it's all done. It's all good now. I got what I wanted. I can let go of the anger, of the anguish. I can let it all go. But I was letting it go for the last few days, and I've just been through it. I've just been through it because I was right, and now everyone sees I was right, and now they know that I was looking after my body and I was healing because I was playing. And you shouldn't want to inhibit someone's lifestyle if they want to play. So my tumors are dissolving and I'm healing. I've lost a bit of weight. Oh, that other hip cracking. I know I didn't explain what I was just doing, but when I go to stand up, I can move. I can just haul myself up, and my home physical therapy is still like, slow down, you know, because I'm just strong and I just pull myself through it. But I move only where my body feels safe. I can feel the edges of where it doesn't feel safe, and I stay away from that. That's fine. I'm gonna just plug you in a second because the thing keeps dropping off, the signal keeps dropping. So I'll plug this in. So I'm gonna go to the bathroom now. I've been sleeping on the sofa because they wouldn't let me sleep on the floor, which is fine. I was like, how would I get off the floor? That's just too much. Because when you're dead below the belly button and you can't control those muscles, everything feels heavy, so it feels like I'm just, I mean, I don't weigh that much. Can you imagine if I was a big guy going through surgery for all that body weight to haul around? I'm quite light. So the reason why this surgery is usually pretty rough for most people is because by the time you've been ill and diseased for so long, the bones weaken, they leach, and they're prone to breaking. And if they break, you have to have plastic spacers implanted, which is a non-load bearing scaffold for you to regrow bone. So they take the diseased joint out, take the joint that's causing the disease out in the body to regrow bone and get healthy. have to live without walking. You have to live without walking for a year with a non-load-bearing joint, so you're not allowed to put any weight on your leg. So that's if it goes badly. And then if it goes well, still a lot of complications that can happen, because typically with a revision surgery, they have to go slow, they have to chisel everything out to try and avoid bone breakage, to preserve as much bone as possible, but everything's unhealthy, so they're not going into healthy bone. They've got to make a joint stable out of unhealthy bone. And that causes a lot of bleeding because the muscles are not well defined, because they're diseased. My muscles were so well defined, it says in the surgery report that they used blunt dissection, just literally peel me apart to go into the diseased bone. So they just slid everything apart and there was no trouble at all. It was like a piece of ham. And it's normal to retract the muscles, but normally high patent. So normally when they go in, the muscles are there's so much tendinopathy that they kind of stick together, and when they do the retraction, there's bleeding. Sometimes they even have to cut the muscle, like the first time with me, to stimulate healing of the muscle, because the muscle is so diseased, it's become jellified and the body is absorbing the muscle. So they cut it to stimulate blood flow, to put blood in there so that you've got to build from. So it becomes intentional bleeding. They fill it up with blood. I mean, yeah, they lavage it, but there's enough bleeding into the joint that it will stimulate the healing process, which is what they did the first time around. But with me, there's no swelling, there's no bruising. I just look like I have a sticker on my leg, and I've been through a major revision surgery. And that's because my muscles were so well defined, supple, they were pliable, they weren't stuck to each other like a disease. And I had done all the training to encourage muscle separation so that they could just easily slide apart and let them go in to do the work. And it worked. So I had set the stage for the surgeon to do this beautiful, delicate work. And I'm proud of that. And I'm proud of him, because he was a very accurate surgeon. When I went in, he was looking at the x-ray, he examined me, he pulled my toes, and he said, you've got 5 millimeters too short on the neck, you've got 6 millimeters possible overhang. If a guy could see this without looking in me, he could see this. I knew he was accurate, and I knew he was the one to do the surgery. So I knew he was the one, and I could ignore the usual misogyny, the usual medical gaslighting. I could ignore all that because I thought he's capable of doing a perfect job. But what happened was, when he saw my idea of doing stunts into the pool, he said, why do you need hip surgery? And he said, dude, you're fucking crazy. You can dislocate. You don't need the surgery. And he wanted to bail. And all it was he's so perfectionist with his work, he doesn't want me destroying his work. Normally, he's dealing with old people that are just grateful to get them walking again. And now I had set the bar high. I had put the bar high where he was expecting that I'm like some weird demand athlete that is demanding absolute precision and stability out of his work. And he couldn't guarantee that because he was going to go to diseased bone. So he couldn't guarantee that. So I was stressing him out. I was like this evil patient that was just a brat that was going to ruin his work. And he was stressing out and he was taking it out on me. And oh boy, he ranted about it in the OR to his assistants, because then they came up to see me in the room like, can we see the video? And when I showed it to them, they were just laughing because I'm just jumping into the water, and they're like, you're fine. He comes up to me and he says, no more backflips. And I was like, okay. But what I'm doing, I go on Instagram and I see these children being coached how to do backflips, and I'm like, that's how you do it. So, shh. Surgeon won't know about it. I'll just be like, yeah, normal activities. He doesn't need to know. I don't want to get the ribbing, honestly, and I don't want to stop having fun. I don't see why I should stop having fun, because I do look after my body. I do maintain bone strength. The disease wasn't my lack of mobility. The disease was what I was fighting through play. So anyway, I'm ready to go. I'm not going to take you guys into the bathroom with me, but I am going to get up and go now. And if you're still here, I'll just settle down again and sign off, so you're going to wait for me. And if there's no one here, I'll just switch it off. Okay? So, I had a big day today. I was up a lot, and there's aching in the bone, which is normal because the bone's got to react to that activity and build up strength. So it reacts by aching, and it's like, you do sports, you muscle ache. Now my bone has to heal, my bone's gonna ache. So it's expected and it's normal. But I don't treat that as a bad thing. I'm like, oh yeah, it's growing. You know, I'm like, oh yeah, battle scars. Oh yeah, warrior trophy. So, I'm just so excited. Hi Peyton. I think I've seen you on my channel before, haven't I, Peyton? I don't remember which live stream that was, but my live streams were a little weird. People have always been like, what is she doing? Is this some weird kind of fetish? Well, now you know. Now, you know, the weird things I was doing was actually healing my muscles in my hip so that they would enable me like a battery to power through surgery. And that's what's happened. And I know I'm going to heal now, and the tumours are regressing, and I've come through surgery like with miracle outcome. They look at me and they don't believe. They're like, there's no swelling, there's no bruising. Anyway, I'm gonna go for a pee and then I'll be back. So I'm supposed to push myself off the seat and then stand on the walker, and I was doing this and the nurse was like, slow down. But it's alright. This is not even a week out of surgery, okay? Check this out. So it's not even a week. It's not even a week out of surgery, and I'm walking around, and I've been told off. Don't do the vacuuming. Hey, guess what? AA, one of my underwater fans here, I'm back with my underwater movies. I've got a special treat coming for you. Now that I can focus, I can do underwater movies again, but I'm not paywalling them. I'm just doing stuff now for me. So I'm doing it in full costume and stuff underwater. I'm having a blast. I am living now, because I got my leg back, I got my hip back, and like, this is, I'm happy. I'll just do a quick little spin for you. So it's not even a week after surgery. I have I hate this signal. No bruising, no swelling, no pain, no pain from the cancer. It's crazy. This is like a miracle surgery, because they've never seen anyone come out of surgery and walk, and they were holding me back with the reins and screaming at me to slow down, but I was so desperate to pee. I was like, I'm gonna go, I need to go pee. I'm dragging the nurses behind me and they're like, slow down. They come running into my room because I've stood on the side of the bed and I'm ready to pee in a cup, because they just couldn't. I'm not screaming. Everyone else is screaming and wailing and crying, and they were dealing with the people that take up the most noise. So, but look at this. Look at this. I can. What? Do you see that? I can just move my leg like nothing. Like, this is the surgical leg. They peeled it and oh my God. I would be in so much trouble if they saw me do that. They'd be like, don't do that. Don't. Anyway, I'm gonna go bathroom. I'll be back. So I'm gonna go back to sleep now. My rest is really important. I haven't been sleeping a straight night through for so long. I'm genuinely weak at the moment, but it's gonna get better from now on. It's gonna get better now on. I'm getting stronger from now on. And this is me weak. Imagine what I'm like when I'm strong. I'm a bit pale because of the blood loss. But I'm growing blood again, so it's fine. I get the hot sweats at night because of the liver work, because it's been very weak. I had an attack last week from MCAS where my body was so sensitive. Hey, I already broke out the Asics the day before the surgery, and I was doing stunts in the pool with my friend Charlie, who also has the same disease as me, so it's his turn next. I'm gonna kick his ass into shape. He's going in that pool and I am preparing him for surgery. Kick his ass. You know what's really funny? The surgeon saw that video and he was so pissed off at me. He was like, "You are fucking crazy." And he threatened me with cancelling the surgery. But anyway, now he knows that I do take care of my body, and I gave him an easy job, and I gave him strong bone to implant into, and I gave perfectly defined muscle boundaries for him to retract, and gave him visible nerve trunks that were strong, that he could identify easily and not harm, because they weren't gonna just, So now he knows that I'm not just a crazy person. There's a reason for my madness, and I was enjoying life because I thought I was going to die. 7 months ago, I thought I had 6 weeks to live. And I fought my way through it. And my motto is just to play. You've got to enjoy life because you don't know if you're not going to wake up. And playing is healing. It genuinely is. So anyway, I hadn't been online for a while, guys, because I was cramming. I was cramming in the prep work. I was cramming like as much pool footage as I could shoot, as I had the energy to, which was really hard because I had 0 personal hygiene. I was unable to wash my hair, couldn't brush my teeth. I have to make a decision about what I'm going to do. Oh boy, AA, pectoral muscle is all your upper body strength. That sucks. So AA just said he injured his left pec. Keep training it and regretting it afterwards. So one of the interesting things about learning about your body is learning how to be kind to yourself. And that's just as important as training hard, but there are times when you have to learn how to find ways to self-soothe and calm yourself. And it's a challenge to learn to have some empathy for yourself, learn how to be gentle with yourself. Yeah, it looks like I was insanely strong. I'm putting my feet up here, like literally up here. I'm looking at my feet and I'm balancing on my hands. That didn't happen overnight. That took me 6 months, right? And it's tough. I get it. But you have to learn to enjoy healing because it feels good, right? When you're healing, it feels good. So there are different ways of healing. There's mental healing, there's soothing. Oh my God. This tool, I mean, it looks like a butcher, but it feels so good. It's like pain relief. You can use this on your pecs. Yeah, it's called a meridian count, and it's something only the Chinese are familiar with. You can get it on Temu, and I'll explain how it works. I'll explain how it works. So it's an oscillating electromagnetic field, and it warms up. So it's got red light as well. I'm going to put it on maximum heat. So this is maximum heat. It's going to heat up now, and it warms up gently through the prongs, which are also magnetic. And you can't really overdo it. It feels, because it's the kind of spikes, but they're not spiky, it spreads it's emanating out of several lines. It's oscillating, and on a cellular level, your cells start to jig and they oscillate, and then they snap into alignment, and the nerves can transition through. So massage doesn't do this. Massage can traumatize the muscles, but this won't, and it will, because it's it's magnetic, it chases away the blood and inflammation out of the muscle. It chases away the fluid buildup, the edema out of the muscle, and it enables the healing to take place, and enables you to neurologically start to connect with your muscle. It's like, this is the bomb. And you can get, I prefer the one with the cable because it's the highest power, because I'm using these things, sometimes I get so addicted I'm using it for 6 hours at a time, and I burn it out if I do that. So I bought 3 of them. I bought 3 of them. So actually, you know what? I'm gonna just demonstrate and use it now, because it feels so good, and it's like no one can give you this. Like, it's lovely to have someone touch you and do the massage, but no one can give you this. You can control it. You can go around your pain, and it will relieve your pain. So I get it on Temu. So I'm just going to get myself comfortable, and I'm going to start doing this and show you. This is one of the reasons how I healed, okay? Because now you have bioelectric fields running through your muscles in series, right? Your nerve branches aren't branching out and going to your muscles are very crystalline. They all have to line up in the same direction, and they can't because of an injury, and they kind of get a little bit offset, a little bit scrambled. Then that connection between the cells neurologically suffers delay, and the brain can't see it because there's lagginess. So your reaction skills go down, and your brain can't see it, and your brain needs to see it to give the hormonal signal. So this teaches your brain where it's at, and the heat is gentle, and it's a gentle vibrational tool. So I'll turn the vibration on in a minute, because I need the oscillation to actually chase the fluids out of the muscle and encourage it to heal. It's vibrational healing, right? It's great. And I showed my surgeon, and he's like, "You're not going to use that on the wound, are you?" I was like, "Oh no, I just wanted to show you." Like, they completely dismiss Chinese methods. I'm Chinese. I'm superhuman. I mean, you know the way we train. We're nuts. We send our elderly to play in the parks, and our elderly are like, we're doing parkour in the parks. Do you know what I mean? Like, and you go, "Oh, look at that the old man. He's smacking his head in the lamppost." It's like, well, he's got a strong cranium then, and he's not gonna suffer with stroke and die when he falls over, because he can smack his head on a lamppost. Now, I'm not saying we should all go smack our head on lampposts, but we know what we're doing. We know what we're doing with our bodies. We've had thousands of years of civilization compared to the West, and we were given a book by the Yellow Emperor 2,000 years ago of techniques that worked, how to look after ourselves. It doesn't exist in the West. And the surgeon has the cheek to tell me, well, it's all kind of juju magic, because, you know, he didn't say that, but effectively that's what he meant. He's like, there's no proof that any of that works. And I'm like, I'm the proof, mate. Can't tell if he hates me or what, but I definitely made him pay attention, because when he looked at my surgical wound, he's like this. Because there's no swelling. Now, surgical swelling is normal, and I did have some surgical swelling, but I'm doing my own piece the swelling out so that it doesn't form a matrix for all the fibroblasts to lock that muscle down. So get yourself a meridian cane. Get yourself a meridian cane. This is heated. This has infrared light, electromagnetic, and there's 2 types of massage on it. Electrical stimulation. I don't like to use that yet. That's a little bit more advanced. Or there's just vibrational massage, and it's just a gentle hum. Neighbors, because the whole muscle is like, your muscle is like a paragraph, okay? And when you injure it and you tear that paragraph up, instead of being a paragraph, you've got a tear going this way, and now all the lines are kind of misaligned. And cells have to talk to each other at a cellular level. They're like enmeshed with like neurological circuitry. And when that gets disrupted, these motor neurons have to reconnect, but now their parts are not lined up. They're kind of like this. So you get up and spread out, and you get like a fat muscle, and you get fat bone. So the meridian comb is specifically designed so that when you jostle and they all start to snap together and they condense into the nice crystalline pattern they were supposed to be. And that's healing, right? It's pain relief, it's gentle, and you're gonna, I'm so addicted to this tool. I'll just show you. I'm gonna lie down and I'm just gonna play with it for a bit. And it looks like a torture device, but it's taking care of yourself. It's giving yourself some love, you know? Because no one can do this for you. You can do this for yourself. You can gauge your own pain levels. You can start to feel where your muscles are going to switch on, and you'll love it. We didn't have like that thousands of years ago, but we did have magnetic forks. So we used magnetic forks and we used lymphatic drains. Not cupping, but the actual the little ones for doing the lymphatic drain. So we've had tools for thousands of years. This is just automated now. So I don't have to do the work because it's automated. But we've always been into our smacking and piezoelectrics and everything. So I'm just going to lie down. I'm going to put you down here. Oh gosh, I've been online for 96 minutes. Sometimes I'm awake for a couple hours. Because, you know, if you can't sleep because of the sweats and everything, it's just rough. I'll show you how I get up. I'll show you how I get up. You're going to love it. Right? I'll put my legs up. So I don't have a blanket, I just light jacket over me to cover what I want, because otherwise I get too heavy otherwise, and then I can't kick it off when I'm feeling weak, because when I'm weak everything just shuts off, you know. It's like with the blood loss, the weakness kicks in and you're like a rag doll. So that sucks. Anyway, just get this out of the way. I use this sleeping mask. And then what I do is I put the pillow between my knees and I can push myself up. I've got a lot of flexion here already. It's not like I've even got the swelling restriction, because normally you can't move because there's so much swelling. The joint gets jammed up, you know. So you've got an injury pectoral muscle, and it will feel so good there. Trust me. You get it on Temu. It's like $25. And I'm just going to show you what I do for relief. It's a lymphatic drainage. I'm chasing away the inflammatory fluid so that I can just pee it all out, and then it stops a matrix of scar tissue from forming, because the body wants to stabilize it, it wants to stop you moving. But I already have good muscle structure, so I'm just cleaning it, you know? My muscles were intact, they were not damaged. So I don't have to worry about that, you know? So see what I've done? Put my leg up on the side. So I'm able to take care of myself, give myself massages, lymphatic drainage. It's feeling nice and warm now.
So yeah, AA. This is light therapy. This is vibrational therapy, electromagnetic stimulation. Feels so good. So take care of yourself. Take care of yourself and get one of these things to help pectoral muscle. It will heal so quick. Hey. But
not really. I just heard your voice. You okay?
No, I'm just happy.
No, that's what I mean. You're okay.
Yeah, I'm good. Okay. Nice. My husband was like, "You okay? You okay?" Because I've scared him a lot. I had a blackout when I came out of hospital, and now he's like, hey, you're on Temu now. Yeah, get the one with the cable attached to it, because you don't want a chargeable one. You want the freedom to be able to go, oh, actually
Actually, I'm enjoying this so much. I'll use it on my face. Here, I'll use it on my face for a second. So if you're wondering if I look young, maybe it's because of this. I'm going to turn the vibration down a bit. I'll just do a gentle vibration. Like this. Oh. So sometimes when I can't sleep, I do this. And I just... I've been doing it on the jaws as well. This will get rid of snoring. So I've got the pain here. So I'm going to use it on my left side a bit because this will help with the tumour. So I have to book surgery now with the maxillofacial because there's tumour debris in my jaw which has come out. So yeah, it's called a meridian, electric meridian. So yeah, I use that. I can't sleep, and it just relaxes me, and I'm able to sleep afterwards. And there's no pain. If you are suffering pain, this kind of gets rid of it. It really does. It's better than TENS, because literally chasing the inflammation out of the muscle. And on a cellular level, your muscle is like a paragraph. So all the cells are connected, like almost in series. Okay? They're almost connected in series, and restores their ability to communicate with each other. So they're kind of scrambled, they're kind of pointing the wrong direction, and eventually they vibrate because this warms them up and it lubricates them, and they kind of snap together again. So it will get rid of muscle swelling. And I'm not saying this because I'm trying to sell stuff on TV. I get nothing out of this. I'm just saying this is what I do to heal. I know how to take care of my body. And I am constantly I'm constantly being put down by the medical industry as being this reckless brat because I should act my age and you can't control me. Having fun. That's the way I'm gonna live. I'm gonna do somersaults. I can't believe the surgeon's like, no more backflips. You're not gonna do any more backflips. And I'm like, okay. Fuck this. I'm not modifying my activity to cope with a surgery. I am living to the max. I'm gonna play to the max. I'm gonna do whatever my body gives me, and I will look after the joint. I will look after it, but don't tell me what to do, because I mean, the miracle is there, right? I know how to look after it, and I think that's why I don't look 48. I mean, I do, I do look my age. People are often spun out because I don't behave my age. And this disease that nearly took my life, it's already had too much, you know? So I was absolutely living to the max, and I didn't stream much because I was just packing it in before surgery. Thought, well, I won't know if I die, and at least there's something. At least I left something behind, you know? So, by the way, all the videos I make now, they're me. That's what I enjoy doing. So I'm not paywall my videos so much. I'll paywall the ones that are maybe boring to other people because they're more, I don't know, like in-depth education to help people directly. But I'll put those in the membership side so I don't clutter up the main channel. I mean, my main channel is quite cluttered, it's organized because I do so much. I enjoy so many things. I enjoy studying and biohacking the body, you know, seeing how superhuman you can be. So I enjoy pushing everything to the max. But I know how to temp it. I know how to work around the edges and rein in a little bit. It's just people aren't used to seeing that. I mean, can you imagine telling Jet Li to slow down? He'd smack you. So I'm just super grateful. I'm super grateful because and AA, you've been with me for, is it like 7 years? I was ill and I knew it back then when you were first following me, but I didn't know how to articulate it. I didn't know what was wrong with me, and I didn't want to be this whining pity party. And eventually, yeah, eventually I had to give it up because I got homeless. And I was sick and I had to find a job. After the pandemic, I had to return to work and find a job, anyone that would take me, because we were homeless. Didn't have a pool anymore. I mean, it was a very depressing time. It's not that reality sets in, it's just that we don't have any cradle or support system here in the US that enables us to get our health back. And that is something that we take very seriously as Chinese people, is play. Right? In America, your cultural attitude is very kind of, you work hard and the dream, you work hard for the dream. Well, I got news for you. The Chinese motto, work hard. We're very disciplined, but we play. And in America, I'm so disappointed in your guys' attitude to healthcare. I mean, systemically, there's no play. And I'm not talking about, oh, we're just gonna joke around at anyone else's expense. I'm talking about social play, you know, like the parks in China are different. Like everyone plays, everyone dances, everyone does Tai Chi together and challenges each other to stupid games. You got elderly doing parkour. That's what I'm gonna be like. When I get old, you're gonna see me doing pull-ups. You're gonna see me just doing crazy stuff because I'll be like, I wonder if I can do this. That's our Chinese attitude, is double happiness. Hey, hey! Yeah, I'm British as well. I feel like a motherland orphan. They don't know that second-generation Chinese people exist. We can't speak Chinese. We want to reach back, but we don't know how to. So we kind of suck up as much as we can through places like Temu. We enjoy the social media of our crazy people, and it's just a laugh, you know? I'm just like, why can't you like that in real life? Because we do in Chinese, and that's why I'm always giving Charlie a ring. I mean, Charlie has got the same cancer that I have, and I'm just ripping him all the time. I'm just taking the piss like we're a crib couple. And I have a husband, so Charlie's like my second husband. He's like my part-time husband, you know, but that's what we're like in Chinese. We're very social. We have big family systems. So AA says you haven't lost any of your UK accent. Nah, not gonna happen. Look at the state America's in. I'm just laughing at that every day. It's just bizarre. It's tragic, and it's hey Jeremy. Moonshine prevents cancer. Much love, Krina. I know what you're talking about. I am actually, lately, I am addicted to a channel called Stefan Burns. Go look him up. Right? He's like the NASA witch, right? He talks about the flares and heliocentric planetary geometry and how those electromagnetic fields and the resonance of those electromagnetic fields have an effect on our bodies, because our brains, the same resonant frequency runs in the Schumann resonances, which happen to be the Earth's electromagnetic resonance. So it all makes sense, you know. We've known for thousands of years. So I'm gonna switch off now. I'm gonna go back to sleep. I'm gonna get some healing sleep. And I just wanted to share with you. It was the first time I've been very weak after surgery from the blood loss. So, but I've grown enough blood back now that I'm starting to, you know, I'm getting my strength back, and I'm gonna start producing videos again. So some of the pain that I'm going through is actually the tumoral regression. So my tumors are actually being dissolved, digested by my body, and the protein structures are repurposed to help rebuild some of the wound healing. It's all exciting me that I can see these changes happening in real time. Yeah. So I wish you all the best on healing journeys, and I will continue to share what has worked for me. I cannot believe I've been suffering for so long.